Hi Flosstube, I'm Tamara, the PD Stitcher, and this is my channel about cross stitch. It's been since the end of April when I did my Mania plans since I've done a video. So today I want to do my Mania recap. This is video Flosstube number 9, because I'm so sporadic that my numbers just, I'm only on 9. I'm hoping to start doing this once a week. So today I'm going to share my Mania recap and all the progress I made in Mania. And then next week I will share all the things I've started since June started. And, well, not started, but all the things I've worked on. I've not started anything else since June started because I started plenty in May. So my plans for Mania were to do 20 new starts. I had 4 projects that had May birthdays from 2019 Mania, and I was going to work on those, and I'm not showing those. I'm just going to show my new starts. I ended up adding 2 more new starts, and I'll talk about those and why I added them when I get to those at the end, because those got added to the end of the 20 days of May. So here we go. So May 1st, I started Glitter House number 5, and I'm doing the whole set of Glitter Village for my son, who is 20 and in college, but eventually he's going to move out. And when he does, I want him to have some Christmas decorations for his place, and he's asked me to do them in not pastels because he's got them. So the ones most of what I did was not color. It was mostly the white for the Glitter Village houses that I did for Mania. I only did 2. I've already started 3 before. So I did Glitter House number 3. And so I did the white and the roof. So no dark colors, no bright colors, but some of these will have the brighter, bolder colors. But this was Glitter House number 3, and that is on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And then May 2nd was Santa from Tiny Modernist Chalkboard Christmas Greetings, and the Ho Ho Ho. And this is on 32 count chalkboard black. And I've started getting used to stitching on the black. I love bright colors on the black. I think it looks so good. It's blowing out. There we go. That's better. I think that's much better showing the colors. I love those. I started each of these 4 during Mania, but I'm going to show them in the order that I did them because I put them into my Tiny Decisions wheel and spun, and so they came up randomly, which was good because I had several small projects like those and some bigger projects, so it kind of mixed them up and spread them out a little bit. May 3rd was Tiny Modernist again, but this was Summer Signs, and I started The Sunshine is the Best Medicine on May 3rd. And this is on 32 count Picture This Plus Heartland. And so I got that much done. The sun and the S, so suns and B. But I've got the palm tree and the sunshine, and I love these colors. On May 4th, I've decided I'm going to do all of the Cricut Collection months. So this year I started January through June, the first 6 during Mania, and next year 6 of my Mania starts will be July through December. So this is January, what it's going to look like. And there's so much in these. All of these, I love all the detail and all the little things. I love this little ice skater. Just all the detail in these months is amazing. So I'm gonna have a big, huge mess when I get done here, but that's okay. So This is not the light. This is on 32 count Picture This Plus Vesper. And I started with the little angel with the trumpet that goes above the J for January. And I love this. I'm not a big fan of doing little individual stitches, but that's okay because I've learned, finally, how to do the pin stitch thanks to Cheryl McKinney at Tranquil Stitches. She did a little tutorial where she went through some different things and showed the pin stitch and showed how to do it, and it was done in a way that I could understand. And so that, I'm so excited now that I can do little stitches that are all by themselves and not have to carry my thread now that I finally know how to do the pin stitch. So that was January by the Cricut Collection. And then on May 5th, I went back to Chalkboard Greetings, Chalkboard Christmas Greetings from a Tiny Modernist, and worked on the Merry and Bright with the train. And this one, I think, is my favorite of all the pieces that I worked on during Mania. Look at those colors. Let's see if we can do it without it blowing out because of the lighting. Look at those colors and how they pop on that black. Is that not just gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. So I love that train. And then on May 5th, that was May 5th. On May 6th, I did Sign of Freedom. I started Sign of Freedom, which is from the August 2017 Just Cross Stitch magazine. And it's gonna look like this. I haven't purchased the buttons yet because it's gonna take me forever to do this, and I'm not really sure what buttons I want to put on it. I might want to use these, or I might want to see if I can find some other patriotic buttons, but this is on 32 count fabric flare, and I don't know what kind. I could not find it, but I got this far with the F and the little pattern around the F with the letters. So I'll have a space for the R and started the space for the first E. I'm very excited about this one. I don't have any patriotic pieces that are done, so I'm very excited that this one will be, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping it's not the only patriotic piece I'll have, but it might be for a while because I have a lot of stuff started that I need to finish, or at least make some progress on before I start much more. I doubt that's going to happen. I'm sure I'm going to start more. All right, so that was February. Goodness, May 6th start. February was the piece I started on May 7th. So it's going to look like this. This is February by the Cricut Collection. And I apologize for the lighting, but this is about the only room in the house that is quiet. Although right now all my kids know I'm making a floss tube, so they're all being very quiet. I'm sure they're all on electronics in their rooms. But it's also it has the best lighting for making a floss tube if I had done it earlier in the day. And I plan to. I'll share more about that when I get to the life stuff at the end, but needless to say, didn't get to it until quite later in the afternoon. So the lighting is, I've got light coming in from the window here. To counter that, I have light coming from the light source in the chandelier, and it's blowing out depending on how I hold it. But this is February by the Cricut Collection, and I did this on 32 count Bramble from Picture This Plus. I love the modeling in this. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I started the F I got a good bit of the top of the key and the ribbon. And that's about it. I didn't get as much stitching done that day as I did a lot of the other days. But it's a start, and these will give me plenty to do because there's so much for each piece. I'll have plenty to work on. So that was February. That was May 7th. May 8th was Pretty Little San Francisco by Satsuma Street. And I'm not going to take it out because it's actually showing up not too bad. And I don't want to crinkle any more than I have been. I grew up, well, I didn't grow up. I grew up in South Carolina, which is where I live now. But I was born in Sacramento, California, and lived there till I was 8. And then I moved to South Carolina. And I remember, I mean, I wasn't a baby when we moved. I was 8 years old. So I still remember some trips to San Francisco with my parents. And then 4 years ago, one of my daughters qualified for the national USATF national track meet, and it was held in Sacramento. And she qualified in race walk and in javelin, and race walk was on Monday, javelin was on Thursday. So on Wednesday, we went and took a trip because we could go sightseeing, we had time, and we went to Muir Woods, and then we went on down to San Francisco. So this is kind of a piece to help me remember my childhood, but also to just a remembrance of that trip. So I started this on May 7th. No, May 8th. Goodness, I have the dates in front of me. You'd think I could read them. And this is on a 32 count Zweigart natural that I've got probably at Target. Not Target, Hobby Lobby. Wow, Target. It's right next door to our Hobby Lobby just about, so that would be why. But so this is how far I got. But I apparently need to do something with the edges because they're starting to fray pretty good. I don't own a serger. I don't own a sewing machine because I don't sew. So I will probably just whip stitch around the outside and be done with that because, like I said, I don't own a sewing machine. I don't know how to sew. I asked for a sewing machine and my husband said, I'm not spending money on a sewing machine because you won't use it because you don't know how to sew. So there we go. At some point, maybe I'll learn how to sew. But that's okay. I'll just pay people to finish my pieces and I won't have to learn how to sew. I just have to whip stitch my edges myself. But that's okay. I can do that. So that was Pretty Little San Francisco. And then May 9th was Summer Signs. Again, it was the sand in the air, salt in my hair. With the little crab. I love that little crab. Is he not the cutest? And those flip-flops. Love those. So I got a ton done on this one that day. Apparently I didn't do anything else around the house that day, I'm sure, because I just sat and stitched. But I did get a lot of stitching done that day. And I mean, I feel like I could probably whip this out if I sat down for 2 straight days and finished and just stitched. I could probably finish it. This quarantine has been okay for me getting a lot of stitching done because I don't have to take my children to soccer or track or cross country or anything. So I've had time in the evenings to stitch, but I miss all those activities. I'm loving getting stitching time, but I miss taking them to those activities and they're missing their activities. May 11th, May 10th was one of those pieces that I started in 2019 during Mania. And it's now been, I finished it. That's right. I finished it on May 10th this year. But I'm not going to show it. I'm not really happy with it. I don't like it. There are several others in, I mean, it's pretty. There's several others in that series that I had started that I decided I'm going to UFO. It was the magical princesses that were almost all in DMC light effects, and they're gorgeous, but I don't really have any plans for what I would do with them. I had thought about making them for a couple of my girls, but I don't think they want them, and I really don't like stitching with light effects because it's a pain. So I've UFO'd them and put them away. I might bring them back out eventually. I have the patterns, I have the fabric, I have them started, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. So on May 11th, I started something. I promise you I did. I started a hands-on design, This Way to the Pumpkin Patch. I love these little pumpkins. They're so cute. And I don't have a lot of fall. I don't have a lot of much. It's starting to sound like I have all my kids' Christmas stockings because I started those. I'd worked on one. I was a monogamous stitcher for a very, very long time when my kids were little, and I worked on their stocking, and that's all I would work on. When you have 5 kids in 7 years, you don't have a lot of time for stitching, so their stockings took a while, and that was all I was working on. So that's pretty much all I did until about 2 years ago, and then I started some other projects. And then I found Flosstube, and now I have 50 bazillion projects, but not a lot of finishes. I have all the stockings, except for mine. That's my next goal, is to find a Christmas stocking that I want to stitch for me. This is also on 32 count, Picture This Plus, Heartland. And that's my start. I love those little pumpkins. I love that tealy blue one. I like that color. And I like that it's not just, they're not all just orange, the same color orange pumpkin, because that's boring. I love that they're all various shades of orange, and then the teal, the dark blue. And then the next one was another autumn piece that I started. And this was from the Just Cross Stitch October 2017. And this is Shades of Autumn. And look at this. I love this design. I love this pattern. I think it's going to take me about 80 years. It's got so many stitches. It's got so many stitches. I'm going to be on this for a long, long time. So I am doing this because I am an equal opportunity stitchist. I'm not sure that's a word, but that's okay. I'm an equal opportunity, and this is on Aida, 18 count Aida. Just plain white Aida that I found that is crispy and has probably been in a drawer for years. But you can tell there's a lot of stitches that I got done in that. Yeah. That is going to take me a long, long time, because I basically got to right there and there. I got that much done in one day. Just that. And that was one day. So this is going to take a good long time. And if this was all I worked on, I could probably finish it in a few months. But I think I would get bored. And then I would put it away. So it would take me even longer because I wouldn't work on it. So I like the fact that I'm no longer a monogamous stitcher. I think that helps me stay interested and want to stitch. Mania just about did me in though. I got a little tired towards the end of starting projects. I never thought I'd say that, but I did. Okay, so that was May 12th. May 13th, hold on, I have it written down, but I have to turn the page. May 13th, I started the next month, which was March, from the Cricut collection. And I wish, there you go. I wish I could get in closer because all these little details, like the leprechaun hat and the little green balloon and the March wind, and I love this lion and the lamb because it comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, except for this year's March, which came in, I don't know how, and it went out like a crazy person because, you know, we all know how March was for the world. So this is on 32 count Vesper from Picture This Plus, and I got the lion's head and a little bit of the M for March. Didn't get a lot done on these. These are going to take me a while. I can already see that. These are going to take me a while, but that's okay because, you know, where am I going? I got nothing but time. Nothing but time. Time to stitch. Actually, that's not true. I need to do other things. I need to clean my house. That I need to do. But that's not nearly as much fun as stitching, so, you know. All right, the next thing I started was April. That is not April. Let me find the April one. These were in order. And then I started this 3 times. They weren't in order anymore. So here's April. And I love this. The bunny is supposed to be a button. I don't have the button. I might get the button. I might put something else there. I'm not really sure. I kind of wish it was stitched on, because not all of the other months have buttons. I wish all the months were the same. Well, obviously not the same because they're all different months, but all of mine are in DMC because A, I don't have a lot of fancy floss, and B, I can't afford a lot of fancy floss. So I'm not getting the silks. I'm just right now doing these in DMC. And a couple of the other projects are using, you know, a little bit of fancy floss, but not much. And then it's just boring. It's not silks. It's just cotton over dyed. But not all of them have a button. Some of them have a button. This one has a button. Some of the others don't have a button. I wish they all either had a button or didn't have a button, but you know, that's just me. Some people might like the buttons. I like the buttons. They're actually cute, but I wish they all had the same things because that way they're all kind of the same. So, anyways, this is my start for April. I have a good bit of the A. Those little flowers at the bottom. They're so cute, those little purple flowers. So that's April. And that was the 15th. I skipped the 14th because on the 14th, that was one of the projects that I UFO'd. I worked on it on the 14th, but I decided to UFO it, so I'm not going to share it today. I might share it next week. I'm not sure. I put it away, and once I decided to UFO these, I felt so much relief because I wasn't enjoying them. And if you're not enjoying stitching on something, you probably shouldn't stitch on it because cross stitch is supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun, why am I going to do it? So that was the 15th. On the 16th, back to Chalkboard Christmas. And this was the 'Tis the Season Snowman. I like this guy. But there's a lot of white in that one. If you notice in the others, there's some white, but there's a lot of other colors. And this has a lot of other colors, but there's just a lot of white. The border's white, the little doodads in the corners are white. I'm sure there's a name for those that, you know, I don't know. And there's the green in the tree and the red and the scarf and the present. But there's just a lot of white. white on black, which after a while can get a little tiresome. So I didn't get much done on him because I got a little tired of stitching white on black with him. So, goodness. There, that's better. So I got his face, except for his eyes. I got a good bit of his hat. I started on his body. Got some of the snow on his hat. But I see him taking me a little bit longer than, let's say, the train that I was stitching. Because the train doesn't have a lot of white. It's got a lot of bright colors. I like the bright colors. I'm a bright color person. You may have noticed you've never seen me show a sampler because, and I love watching other people's floss tubes where they do samplers. I think samplers are pretty, but they're not me. I like bright colors. I like things that pop, and samplers are pretty, but they're usually prim and the more muted colors, and that's just, it's not me. And so I love watching other people's sampler videos though, because they're pretty, and I think, wow, those are gorgeous. But then I go to look at them to think about me stitching them. I'm like, I like the bright colors. So that's okay, because everybody should stitch what they want to stitch. And if samplers make you happy, you should stitch samplers. And if bright colors make you happy, you should stitch bright colors. And if mirabilias make you happy, you should stitch mirabilias. I would love to stitch a mirabilia. Actually, I think they're gorgeous, and I probably will at some point, but they kind of scare me because there's a lot of beading. I really want to get the Lady of the Flag and do that one. There's a lot of beading. I've never beaded anything cross stitching. Actually, that's not true. I put beads on one of the girls' stockings a long time ago. A very long time ago. Yeah. I don't even remember how. It's been that long. That was the third stocking out of 6 that I did. I have 5 children. I made one for each of them, and then my husband's. But I don't remember how to bead. I'm sure it's not that hard, but the thought of it just kind of scares me. Anyways, I digress. So now we're at May 17th, which was June. And if you notice, I skipped May. Yeah. I don't know why. I did January, February, March, April in order. And then my tiny decisions wheel spun up June. I said, okay. So did June before I got to May, but that's okay. So June is on 32 count Mystic Fabric Big Sky that I bought from Annie, Joyfield Stitcher. Oh, it would help if I showed the pattern, wouldn't it? You'd think I'd not been doing this for the last 30 minutes and showing y'all the patterns. So I love this little mustache man. If you noticed, on all of them, I started on the first letter and I'm just going to work my way across. I used to be a middle stitcher, a middle starter. I don't do that anymore because I tend to let my fabric share pieces because I'm cheap, and I buy the fat quarter, which usually I can fit, like, especially with these because they're long and skinny, I can fit 2, one across the top, one across the bottom. That works for me. But if you're a middle stitcher, that's a lot of counting to figure out where the middle of the top part is versus the middle of the whole piece. So it's just easier for me if I just start over at the side and give myself a good border. I try to give myself a good margin. Yeah, I don't always. There's going to be some times when I finish some of these and I go to actually fully finish them, or send them to somebody to fully finish them, and they're going to go, what were you thinking? I have no room to finish this. Or I'm going to say, what was I thinking? I have no room to finish this. So, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, and today is not that day. But this is my J for June with my little mustache man and the little flower and my little hedgehog. Okay, I just have to share this because I think every pattern should have a little hedgehog now, because this guy was so much fun to stitch. Look at him. Is he not adorable? Is he not absolutely adorable? He's so tiny and yet so cute. So every pattern should have a hedgehog, even if it doesn't belong there. Like my snowman, hedgehogs probably don't belong there, but every pattern should have a hedgehog because he's just adorable. Okay, on the 18th of May, I did Glitter House 5. Notice I did 3 earlier, 5 now, because I did 4 already. Because I don't do things in order. I don't know why. So this is what 5 is supposed to look like. It is not what 5 will look like, because I'm going to change the pastel-y house to Granny Annie. So more of a deeper blue. But that's okay. Because it's for me. Actually, it's not for me, it's for my son, and that's what he wants. And so that's what he would get. But I didn't get a whole lot started on this one. And then this is sharing all the fabric with all. See, you can see the other ones I've done. I've done a red house, 2 deep red houses. That's another Granny Annie house. So this will be a Granny Annie house as well. But right now, all I did was the white and then the roof. My mania, if you've noticed, was a lot of white stitches. Yeah, a lot of white stitches. I'm hoping that means that when I go back to these pieces and I don't have all the white stitches left, it won't be that bad. I'll just be able to breeze through them. Because white, I do railroad my stitches. White, I have to railroad my stitches so that they'll lay somewhat non-wonky. But I just feel like sometimes I railroad my white stitch and then I pull it back out and I railroad it again because I didn't like how it laid the first time. So white, when I stitch with white, it just takes me, it seems like twice as long. Okay, May 19th was back with something. There it is. If y'all could see my table, woo, it's covered in cross-stitch stuff. It's a hot mess. But it was the Ocean Breeze, and Ocean Breeze puts the mind at ease. Excuse me. I'm sorry. When you sit here and talk for a while, your throat gets dry. And I'm learning that more and more. So I love the little sailboat and the little lighthouse. I've never seen a lighthouse that's all these colors. But the colors all go. They're just nice and bright and summery. So I'll deal with the multicolored lighthouse. Let's see if I can find it on my fabric. Well, hello. There we go. So I got the sailboat and the wind, the breeze, the ocean breeze, and the little birdies. So there's that. Didn't get as much done on that as I did on some of the others, but that's okay. And then May 20th was May. I told you, did it out of order. But I did get to May. So here's what May, just about shows you the working copy, which has the pattern on it, obviously. May is very small because it's only 3 letters. So it's got these 2 girls over here. I just don't know about their dresses and the colors. I'm sure I'll like them when I get to them. I just don't know. Any suggestions? I have all the colors pulled, but I don't want to change them. I've had to change a couple of things. On the June one, because I did it on a much deeper blue, the big sky. So I had to change one of the blues so it would show up. May is on, picture this, plus 32 count Regency. And I got a good bit of the M, a couple of the flowers. A decent start. I like that green on this fabric. I think it pops. I do think, I want to say I had to change something on it though. No, I didn't on this one. Oh no, I did on this one. The green, yes, the green for the M is supposed to be one shade lighter, and it just kind of sunk into the fabric. You couldn't really see it, so that might be why I didn't get very much done on this. I think I started it and you couldn't really see, so I pulled it out and started with a deeper green. But I love this green on this. So that's May from the Cricut collection. And we're up to May 20th. Now, if you notice, I said I did 20 new starts. However, in the middle of those, there were 2 days that I went back to previous ones, so I still have 2 more new starts. May 21st. This one makes me sad. So, let me see if I can find it. May 21st, I started Chalkboard Greetings, Peace, and Happiness with this dove. I want you to look at that. I want you to think about what I said about 5 minutes ago about me stitching white on black. Yeah. So I started it. And remember how I said I'm not a middle starter? Because it requires a lot of measuring. Yeah. If you notice, there's the heart for the dove in the middle. Well, actually a little bit below the middle, right? A little bit below the middle is where I started. I started in the middle. Yeah. If I go up, I'm fairly certain I'm not going to have enough of a border or a margin between the snowman and the dove. So I did all those white stitches. And I think I'm going to have to rip them out and start again. Or I'm just going to UFO the dove because I really don't want to stitch all that white right now. I might UFO it, come back to it in a couple of years when, you know, I actually feel like stitching white on black. Lots of white on black. Okay, so that was May 21st. May 22nd was another one that I had started in 2019 for Mania. And I'm going to wait and show that next week because it's a finish. I finished it after Mania ended and when June started because it was on my June Whipco board. I'll talk about that next week. So I skipped to May 23rd, the last of my 20 new starts. My 20 planned new starts was Summer Signs. Life is always better at the beach. Look at the seahorses. Are they not adorable? I thought so. I thought they were so adorable that I misstitched one. So one of them is different from the other because I missed a stitch. And if you can find it, you probably can because, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I don't think they look bad. I think they still look like seahorses. So I'm going to leave it. It is now personalized. These are my personalized seahorses because one of them is not exactly like the pattern, and that's okay. So I said that I had 20 planned starts. Yeah. Mother's Day happened, and my son got me a lot of Classic Colorworks flosses that were on my wish list. I was very excited. He went to 123 Stitch and went through my wish list and ordered them, and it's really neat to have an adult child who can just buy all the stuff on their own. And then one of my girls who I tried to introduce to cross stitch. Actually, I tried to introduce all my girls to cross stitch. None of them, it didn't take. 2 of them crochet. One of them does all kinds of STEM stuff. One of them's in the theater, and she can paint her face up to be all kinds of different characters. And that's her thing. That's the one that I tried to get her on cross stitch because I thought she would like it. And she does. She likes to see it. She likes to listen. Well, she may not like to listen, but she listens to me as I talk about planning and colors and stuff like that. But she got me for Mother's Day a pattern. She had my husband order it off of Etsy from X Squared Cross Stitch, called Cardinal in the Snow. Is that not just gorgeous? It is full coverage. All that is full coverage on the back, and then the cardinal, and then the, looks like a little fence post that it's sitting on. And she bought this for me because I had told her, I told you that I'm looking for a stocking pattern for me. And I've been very picky. It's hard for me to find one that I want because I like snowmen. I like snow. I like snow if I can sit inside and watch it come down outside. I don't like snow if I have to go out, but that's beside the point. And I love cardinals because cardinals make me think of my mom. My mom passed away in 2005. Before that, she was a principal at an elementary school, and their mascot was the cardinal. And so she had all kinds of cardinal stuff all over her house because she was really proud of the school she was assistant principal at. So when I see a cardinal, I think of my mom. So I wanted a stocking that makes me think of my mom. Well, so she wanted to get me that, a pattern that had a cardinal and a snowman or snow for a stocking for Mother's Day. She couldn't find one either, but she found this, and I absolutely love it. So as soon as I did my last day of Plan Starts for Mania, I started this. Let me tell you, this is going to be so gorgeous. So this is on 28 count easy grid. Okay, I don't think the colors are going to show. This makes me sad. Let's see if I can, no, you can't really see the colors, but there's all these purples and blues and grays and greens all up in here to make the background. So it's going to be gorgeous. And then when I get to the red, it's just gonna pop. So it's right now, I'm in this corner. So it's all these blues and grays and purples. And it's just gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna take me a while, but this is not bad for, I think I worked on it, I started it on May 25th, and I worked on it until the 28th, so 6 days. So that's not really bad progress for 6 days. And then on the 29th, another new start because I decided I would join in the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Positivity Rules Sal, and that started on May 29th. I don't have a cover photo because it's one of those mystery sals, and I didn't print out the part where it's kind of all blurred. I did whip stitch this one, so it's a little frayed, but it'll be fine because I did stitch around the edge so it doesn't fray completely. But I've got my little Positivity Rules needle minder, and then I finished this. I started on the 29th and finished the first part on the morning of June 1st. I had like 25 stitches to do, and I was just too tired on the 31st to finish it. So I pretty much got all of May's done in those 3 days. So I'm looking forward to June's, when June drops on the 29th. I can't wait to see. But this is going to be so pretty. I love all the bright colors. Love all the bright colors. Look at these colors. Are these not just gorgeous? Just gorgeous. Look at that. Just gorgeous. That was my mania. That was May. Wow, that was 45 minutes of projects. Wow, that's a lot. I did get a lot done in May. when I think about May, I'm like, wow, it just blew by. But I got a lot done. So I had planned to get on earlier today and film this, but I had to go to the DMV because we donated a car and I had to turn in the license plate. When you go to the DMV, you can't just go into the DMV anymore. You have to make an appointment. Well, I live in South Carolina. It's hot here. So I made my appointment for 2:15. And they say, get there 10-15 minutes before your appointment. And if you miss your appointment, if you're late, you'll lose your appointment. They're not gonna let you in later. So I got there at 2, thinking, okay, because I didn't want to miss it. If they called it in a little early, I didn't want to lose my appointment. I didn't want to drive back out there. It's clear on the other side of town. So I get there at 2. Well, when you go, you can't go into the DMV. You wait outside. There's no shade at my DMV. It's all sunny. So when I got there, I waited around. Everybody else was outside waiting. I was like, okay, this isn't going to be too bad. I'll wait. I've got 15 minutes. No big deal. Yeah, no. They were running behind. At 2:35, I got called in. So I stood outside for 35 minutes in the heat. And my face looked about the color of my shirt by the time I got home because I was so hot. It was hot. So I had to wait until my face no longer looked quite so red. It's still a little pink. Probably because I got a little burned because I wasn't prepared to sit outside for that long. And I'm a pale person, so I burn really easily. But I hope you all had a good mania. I hope you all got a lot of stitching done. I hope you all are doing well. This is a crazy time. There's a lot of stuff going on, and my prayer is that the world will right itself again. I don't like to say that it will go back to normal because I'm not sure what we had before was normal. And I don't think what will come out of this too is going to be anything what it was before. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of things had to change. And I pray that it will be a positive change. I love my stitching community. I love all of you. And I see positive change coming from us and how we love each other. We uplift each other. We encourage each other. I think we need more of that in our world. So y'all have a good week. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Keep stitching. Bye.